Douglas Ducote, great American historian. Aren't you, Dougie? When you trot out back during the Civil War era, that it was those Democrats who fought against ending slavery in this country. They were conservatives back then, Dougie. And the Republican Party was liberal. Abraham Lincoln was a liberal, Dougie. And we look at you every February when your party has their Lincoln Day dinner, that you're celebrating a liberal, Dougie. The irony, Dougie, dripping all over that, Dougie. So when you're trying to pin today's Democrats with the Ku Klux Klan, did it ever occur to you, Dougie, that over time the parties have switched places? That it used to be the Republicans were the liberals and the Democrats were the conservatives. You know, the conservatives like you, Dougie. So while the liberals were fighting the conservatives in the Civil War to end slavery in this country, Dougie, you try to pin today's Democrats with the Ku Klux Klan. The irony, Dougie, dripping all over that one, Dougie, because see, you vote the same ticket now as the Ku Klux Klan, Dougie. Oh, the irony of that, Dougie. Wow. That's amazing, Dougie, that you don't clue into that shit. Nah, you don't clue into it, do you? Did it ever occur to you, Dougie, that over time the parties have switched places? Have you not read history, Dougie? Do you don't know what nuance is, Dougie? Of course not. Because telling your clown posse in your echo chamber of idiots ain't working for you, is it, Dougie? Maybe you should look up a guy by the name of Strom Thurmond, Southern racist, once a Democrat. After the Democrats passed the Civil Rights Act in 1964, Strom Thurmond went to the Republican Party. Voting Rights Act of 1965, Dougie, passed by liberals. So our African American brothers, our fellow citizens, our fellow Americans, had the right to vote in this country, Dougie. And your side fought it, Dougie. The conservatives, they fought that. But you don't know that, do you, Dougie? As you're trying to pin today's Democrats with the Ku Klux Klan. And you, Dougie, you vote the same ticket as the Ku Klux Klan today. You vote the same ticket, Dougie, as the racist skinheads, Dougie. You vote the same ticket as the neo-Nazis, Dougie. Yeah, Dougie. Funny how that works, Dougie. Because you've never read history. You don't have an understanding that at one time it was liberals in the Republican Party and conservatives in the Democratic Party. But they've switched places, Dougie. Those liberals are now Democrats. Those conservatives are now Republicans. You don't understand that, do you, Dougie? Nah. You don't understand that. And I don't give you any credit for understanding that, Dougie, since you got a 10-cent brain hooked up to an alligator mouth, Dougie. 10-cent brain hooked up to an alligator mouth. You think you're so smart, don't you, Dougie? Yeah, you think you're really smart. Telling your lies to your idiot posse in your echo chamber, where they feed that right back to you and tell you how great you are, Dougie. Yeah, you're easy to figure out, Dougie, because you're uneducated. You spout off that big old alligator mouth, and you've never read or understood history, Dougie. No, you don't understand that shit, do you, Dougie? Why is it, Dougie, that the Republican Party these days do everything they can, everything in their power, to take the vote away from our African American brothers, our African American patriots? Why don't your side want them to vote, Dougie? Why is that, Dougie? And you try to pin Civil War era Democrats to today's Democrats and say, it's those Democrats, you see, they're the ones that started the Ku Klux Klan. How dare they? But you don't know anything about nuance, Dougie, because you don't read. You're uneducated, Dougie. You don't know anything about nuance. You don't know anything about facts of history, Dougie. You peddle your bullshit to your clown posse. And they don't understand that either, do they, Dougie? Nah, they don't understand that shit. They take you at your word when you're trying to pretend today's Democrats with the Ku Klux Klan is all of you. Everyone in your echo chamber, Dougie, with your feedback loop telling you how great you are. All of them vote the same ticket as the Ku Klux Klan. Yeah, Dougie? How's that for nuance? How's that for nuance, Dougie? How's that for nuance, Dougie? That you don't even realize when you open that big old alligator mouth, all the bullshit that flows out of it? Because you're uneducated, Dougie. You don't know any better, Dougie. It was conservatives back after the Civil War that instituted Jim Crow laws in the South. Conservatives, Dougie, your people. And they oppressed African Americans for nearly 100 years. They couldn't drink out of the same water fountain as a white man. That's what your side, Dougie, the conservatives, enforced. Yeah, Dougie. What about that, Dougie? Huh? What about that, Dougie? Douglas Ducote. Great American historian. That's freaking hilarious, Dougie. You a historian.